Okay. Hey guys, so as you can see, this week we are going to be making just a super cute little Expo marker. I also happened to make the cap detachable so that it actually is like a real marker, which I haven't done yet. Usually the models I do are just like one-time things that don't have detachable parts and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought that was really cool, and I'm excited to show you guys how to do it. So go ahead and open up a new scene. You guys know the drill. And then, as you can probably guess, we're going to be starting off with a cylinder. You can move it to the ground by moving the Y to 1 in your little status line up there. And then next thing we're going to do is I want to add in a reference just because I think this is a good one to have a reference for. So go into front view, go to view, image plane, import image, and then I just found a really simple image online. I'll tag it in the description so you guys can use it too. But if you don't want to use mine, just look up whatever kind of works for you. Scale that guy up, and then you're going to want to like rotate it to go along with this guy. Make it the same size as it. And then just push W and push it up to be on the ground, just like our cylinder. Over here on the right in your attribute editor, you want to click on looking through camera for the display so we don't see it in any of the other views. Okay, so next thing, just go into vertex mode. Select these top vertices, just clicking and dragging, and then you want to drag these guys all the way up to the top, just like that. All right, so now what we're going to be doing is bevel the top edge. So we're going to bevel this edge right here, okay? And then we'll extrude the faces that are inside, and then you will like bring them in, offset them in. We're just basically making the tip. So I'll show you how to do that now. Okay, so first let's go here. Let's edge mode, bevel it, Control B, do 2 segments. And then I'm gonna make mine probably a little smaller, not too much. I feel like that's probably fine. Okay, and then next thing we're gonna probably, actually I think I might bring it up. Expo markers come to like a weird point. Yeah, and then next thing you wanna do is go into face mode, and then you're gonna select these inside faces, and then we'll go ahead and extrude it, offset it in by 0.05. Once you offset it, go ahead and extrude it again, and then we're going to just bring the thickness up to like, I don't know, however tall you kind of think it should be. Probably like 0.6. Probably like that, yeah. I might make it a little bit taller later. Okay, let's just start tall. Let's do like 1 or 1.1. And then go back into perspective view. Extrude it again. You're gonna offset it in probably like just 0.05 again. And then what we'll do is we'll bring it up just a smidge. Yeah, 0.05 should be good. And then extrude it. And then this part, we're just gonna bring it up, click R, and then scale it in. Just to kind of like whatever you want. Press E, rotate it, since it is technically supposed to be like a little sideways. Click W and bring it up just a smidge. And then what I think I want to do is this edge right here, I'm just going to scale it in a little bit. And then I'm going to add a multi-cut right here. Okay, so when you press 3, we'll do some beveling later, but that should generally be how it looks. You can see how tall it goes. It shouldn't go higher than this point, okay? So next thing we're gonna do is let's just go through bevel the edges right now. So you can just select whichever edges you feel like need to have a little more sharpness to them. So that's probably good there. Of course, that one definitely needs to be beveled. these guys down here will also need to be beveled. All right, so now if you press 3, you'll see it comes together a bit more. Yeah, that looks good. We do need to bevel our bottom edge down here so it doesn't come to this weird point. So go ahead and just bevel that. Give yourself a small segment. Probably like that, maybe. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so actually next thing we probably should do is do the bottom. So make sure you don't have subdivision surfaces turned on. So click 1 and then go into face mode, and we're going to be selecting these faces, holding tab when you do that. And then we're going to extrude and offset in like 0.5 again. So this is basically like where the circle in the cap is going. That's where it's going to be pushed in, basically. So then you can extrude again, and then what you're going to do is you're going to drop it in like -0.8. -0.7 might work too, actually. I'll do -0.8 just to be safe. Yeah. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to basically be selecting each of these little like rays, is kind of what I call them, like sun rays. And then what we'll do is we'll extrude those guys and push them into the mesh. That's why I said having a reference is really, really helpful, because then you kind of know what you're looking at. Yeah, okay, so that should be good. I don't think we need to select the inner parts. If you extrude that and then just drop it down -0.8 as well, so it goes to the ground. -0.8. And then next thing you can just do is delete those weird like edges that are there. So just go into edge mode, and you're going to be selecting those odd edges and just deleting them, since we don't need them. All right, now it looks good. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is let's go ahead and select their edges that are like towards the middle, these guys, and then we're gonna push them down again. We're gonna push them down a little bit because they are a little slanted. So just push W and literally just drag them down like that, probably. All right. That looks good. So next thing that we're going to do is we can just go ahead and start making the cap. So we're going to need to make another cylinder for that. So go ahead, make a cylinder, drag it up to where the cap is, and then let's go into front view. We're going to be making it the same width and height. So let's go into vertex mode, select these vertices, click R, hold Control and scale on this axis so that it scales only that. That looks pretty good. And then you can scale these guys up just a smidge, and then we're gonna bring these guys up as well so it looks something more like that. Okay, so next thing we can do is add some multi-cuts in that just so that it's an even polygon count. I'm just clicking the middle button on my mouse, and that's giving me halfway cuts for each of those. All right, press Q again so you're in selection mode. Let's go into perspective view and then go ahead and select these top faces. These guys we're going to be extruding and then offsetting in like 0.45. It's gonna be a lot. So go ahead and extrude, and then go ahead and offset by, let's just do 0.1 to begin with. And then what we're gonna do is actually extrude again and push those into the mesh. So you're gonna wanna push it down to whenever it doesn't hit this, I would do it to like the bottom of the marker. So like here, and then click R and scale them in so that they don't actually hit, you know, the marker. Okay, so go ahead and extrude, and then you're going to offset in probably to like 0.35, and then extrude and bring it up, maybe like 0.3, and then extrude and offset it in a smidge, and then extrude and bring your thickness pretty high. Maybe like maybe like 1 would be good. And then I think what we're going to need to do next is select these faces. I would do like maybe every other like 3. So like 1, 2, 3, click, 1, 2, 3, click, 1, 2, 3, click, 1, 2, 3, click, 1, 2, 3. Good. And then extrude those guys and bring the thickness up. Select these faces that are facing towards the center. Those guys. And then click R and scale them in toward our center. Okay, that seems pretty good. All right, and then let's just do these edges. What you'll do is just select these outer guys, and then I think I'm just gonna scale them up so that they go into the mesh like that. Okay, I think it might end up looking a little weird, yeah, when we press R. So next thing that we're gonna do is we'll go through and bevel all of the edges on the cap. This guy should be all good. So now we just gotta do the cap and all of that. Also, let's go ahead and click this guy, push him up. You see how it's not hollow? So select these faces. Let's do extrude and offset it in like 0.1, and then extrude again. And then I think what I'm just going to do is just, and I'm going to just push it up so that it's peeking out of this part, so it's covering it up, and then extrude again. And then we'll offset it in probably until there, and then extrude and push it further. And let's see, we want to make sure it's not poking out of here. So go ahead and do it however high it can be without doing that. And then do extrude. We're going to offset it so that it's small. Probably like that. And then extrude and push it into the mesh, making sure it's not poking out the top at any point. You can offset it in so that it's not poking as well. And then, yeah, having these little things sticking out is totally fine. It's just the inside of your cap. Maybe it holds the pen in place. You never know. All right, sweet. So that'll be the inside. Next thing we need to do is we need to go through and bevel all of our edges. So by now you guys probably know the drill, but do 2 segments and bevel to whatever extent you feel is needed for the accuracy of your model. Doing this inside is a little bit harder, as you can see. So you can select that inner ring, same with this outer ring, and bevel those guys all at once. But then you'll have to go in and select these guys, which is a little more complicated. If you press 3 right now, you'll see they do like this crazy thing. So you definitely do want to go through and take the time to select them and either smooth the mesh, that might work, or just simply bevel it. Totally up to you guys. Okay, it looks like if you double click these bottom guys, it'll select all of their rings for you going around. So that's pretty useful. That'll give you a little more time. And then I think what I'm gonna go through and do is just select all of these edges super quick as well, just so I can bevel all of them at once. We'll see if it works. And then I'm selecting all these bottoms as well. And then I probably will also go through and select the inside of the guys. You have to go into wireframe mode for that, which can be a little hard to navigate. Alright, so as you can see, I made my mesh really close. But those are my two edges right there. So just kind of look wherever your squares align. See, here's another one. Okay, pretty sure I got them all. And then next thing you want to do is select the vertical ones as well. You can see how they'll intersect. I know it's hard to manage. Also, if you don't think that your mesh needs the beveling at this point, you don't have to bother with this step. I generally think that it might look better with beveling, but if you decide that you're not going to do like subdivision surfaces at all in your model, you don't want to press 3 on your models, then what you can do is just like go through and smooth out the mesh. That works pretty well. So it's really just up to whatever you're deciding is the best for your model. But yeah, try to be as accurate as possible for whatever you're looking for. Right now I'm just gonna go through and select the other edges of these guys. As you can see, they're kind of connected into the mesh a little bit, so doing this in wireframe mode is definitely your best choice, since it's a little hard to grasp when it's not in wireframe. Although it still looks pretty complicated in wireframe mode, so I totally understand if you guys don't understand this as much. Okay, don't forget to also select these bottom guys, of course, of those. All right, I think we're good. Just make sure you didn't select any that you don't want, like this guy. We don't want him. And yeah, okay, looks good. Control B will bevel it, add 2 segments, and then if you press 3, you can see how it'll turn out. I'm pretty good with how that's looking, so I'll leave that. And then I think I need to bevel this bottom as well. So we'll just go in and select these guys. This guy, this guy. Basically, whenever it hits a 90 degrees, and then just control bevel, 2 segments. And you can press 3 to see how it'll look. Yeah, it looks good. All right. So, looks like this guy is all ready to have subs on it. The bottom's looking pretty good. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and bevel this guy right here. Give it 2 segments as usual. I'm gonna give it a pretty small fraction. There we go. All right, and then you can press 3 and see how it's gonna turn out. If you want, you can go through and also bevel these guys. Just like we did for the cap. I don't really like how it looks when I do that, so I'm gonna leave it like that so it looks a little more moldable, I guess. Okay. Sweet, you can go ahead and move your cap back onto your pen if you would like it there. You don't have to keep it there, up to you. But yeah, that's basically it. I am going to go in on the cap and go into face mode and then click Q, and then like every 3, select 2 of the faces. And then do Control E for extrude, and then you can offset it in a little bit. And then extrude again and push the thickness out. Most Expo markers have like a cute little indent, so I thought we'd make that really quick. And then I don't think there's any other details that we're missing on the marker, but if you want, you can go in and like add the little sticker that it has just by selecting these faces and then extruding and then thickening them just a smidge. Yeah, up to you. You don't have to. I won't, but totally up to you. Okay, sweet. So here is your beautiful Expo marker. I hope you guys liked this pretty complicated tutorial, but maybe next time we'll make an easy object. Hopefully next time we'll make an easy object. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time for whatever we're making, and stay tuned. Bye guys!